Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of AniBreak, the show where we normally break down the week's hottest topics in anime, manga, and video games. I'm Jason, and like I said, we normally do that, but this week it's going to be something a little different. We're actually going to host the first call-in show, because I figured a lot of you guys like to talk in the chat, and you hit me up on Twitter or email, just about questions about what series you're watching, or some people ask me what type of tacos do I like. It's very odd sometimes. So we're gonna host a call-in show, but I didn't want to do it alone. So you know what? I decided to give a call to my good friend, Mr. DJ Prex himself, Bryan Yang. How you doing, Bryan?
Doing good.
And the idea for this hour is just gonna be just chilling. We're just gonna talk about random things, talk about what anime we're watching, what's going on in the industries, and of course taking your guys' calls. Now there's a number of ways you guys can send in your questions, or if you just want to stop by and say hi. As always, you can send in questions or just talk to us in the live chat. You guys should be connected to that on the website itself. But we also have a number of other ways for you to connect. You can send a message to our Facebook page, OtakuLife Net. So it's just facebook.com/OtakuLifeNet. You can send us a tweet at OtakuLifeNet, or you can give us a call over on AniBreak. Just one word, AniBreak. Now, what's nice about that is it's going to be just audio only, so as a reminder, when you're calling in and you get connected, you want to mute the stream that you're watching, or else you're going to start getting echo and it's going to sound really bad, and we'll have to cut the call, and then we won't be able to talk to you, which is bad. So we will have all of those up. I'm watching all of them here. So if you guys have any ideas, please feel free to start sending them in. But in the meantime, let's start with a couple things. Like the whole thing with this new convention that was announced for Japan, that I think is actually a nice addition. I wish there was one stateside, but that's going to be a while before that comes out. What I'm talking about is the first annual World Vocaloid Convention. This thing looks kind of interesting, to be honest. I mean, there are so many things out there regarding Vocaloid characters, whether it be, Miku or Luca, which actually just celebrated, her 4th birthday just recently? Or was that yesterday? I forget.
It was definitely, very recently though. I don't remember.
But yeah, they're going to host this entire convention around just, Vocaloids, the huge fan community. I have no idea yet if there's going to be like a concert there. But considering the fact that some of the fans are so talented enough to be able to create their own concerts, I wouldn't be surprised that there's several smaller ones being taken place throughout the event itself.
Yeah, for sure.
But I mean, I like the idea. I mean, Bryan, do you think like this type of convention would actually be able to gain traction and become more worldwide, or is this strictly for like a small group of people in Japan?
Right now, I don't think it yet. Oh,
Yep.
am I? Oh, or
It's still coming. Keep on. We can still hear you. Keep on going.
oh, okay. It's saying a speed issue. Anyway, I don't think it quite has enough traction in the U.S. to be able to sustain itself. However, they did have a Vocaloid booth at NAM, I heard. But
yeah,
in the basement floor though.
I tried to get into NAM this past week, which is basically short for the National Association of Music Merchants. Basically, it's an E3 for the music industry, and it was taking place at the Anaheim Convention Center. Goes for about 3 or 4 days, and anybody is from the industry is there. A few years ago, I actually performed there a couple times with a couple different groups, and it was funny because we were playing at this one company's booth for, I forget, like some sort of, I forget, mixers I think they sold. I can't remember the name of them. Some Dutch group.
Right.
And in the small crowd that was gathering, I saw like a bunch of different artists. Like I saw who was it? I saw Bono. He was in the far back taking a look at us. I'm like, must not geek out, just keep on playing. And it's just great just to walk around and check out those places. The fact that Yamaha had a booth there, that actually is pretty cool. I like that.
Yeah, I think it was actually because they were advertising the English Megpoid.
Oh, okay, the Megpoid one.
Yeah.
To be honest, I'm not the biggest fan about that compared to the Krypton Vocaloids.
Right. Well, Meg, I don't know. Megpoint was actually a pretty solid one. I thought that it was pretty that it's actually not a bad one because I've heard some pretty really good songs that came out
Okay.
using Megpoint.
Maybe I'll give it another shot. I know Yamaha themselves are kind of pissed at at Krypton. Not
Hmm.
because of their, well, kind of because of their runaway success with the Vocaloid platform, because
Right.
Yamaha was the company that made the software, made basically the engine for everything that is Vocaloid.
The back end, yeah.
And they were thinking, okay, well, Krypton's going to work on it, and then we'll make our own, and we'll all become popular and be all good. Well,
Hmm.
Krypton's basically become like the name in Vocaloid, and people, sometimes I've talked to people about Vocaloid, and I talk about Yamaha designing them,
Hmm.
and they go, no, it was Krypton. I'm like, no, it was Yamaha.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think Yamaha's probably going to come out with some big thing of their own, a couple different characters, try to push it. And I guess maybe you can call it friendly competition between Yamaha and Krypton
Hmm.
because they're both using the same product. So if Krypton wins, Yamaha still makes money. So,
That is true. Yeah.
but yeah, I can see what you're talking about in regards that it might not become that popular stateside.
Yeah. One second.
Yeah, no worries. I look at it as there's always a number of people who will enjoy Vocaloid, especially when you go to like anime conventions. But then again, that's a relatively small demographic in a small community for a temporary period of time. You're really not going to get something like that on a day-to-day basis unless it's online. So, but we'll have to see
Yeah.
with that.
Well, I don't know. I kind of feel like if any fandom's gonna like any fan specific convention is gonna come first, I would say it's probably be Toho. I would argue that Toho would lead.
You think Toho would lead the way with that?
Yeah, I don't know. I still want to see Zune go to an American convention one day.
You never know. You
Yeah.
never ever know. Now, not everybody probably understands the whole idea behind Toho. I mean, I have a basic grasp of it. I've played some of the games. I've watched some of the the videos that are posted on Nico Nico by all the fans that
Hmm.
are, especially the ones using the Miku Miku dance engine. That's funny as hell. I love that stuff.
Yeah.
But for those who aren't really understand what Toho is, can you explain that real quick?
So Toho itself is a yeah, yeah, pretty much like bullet hell and lollies is as they say. It boiled down. It's a shooting game, top-down shooting game,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a particular brand called Danmaku, which means bullet curtain.
Okay.
And so but it goes way beyond the games. Pretty much just the fans created this entire universe around it, alternate character designs, even
Mm-hmm.
fan games. You know, I'm wearing a fan T-shirt right
Yep.
now, even, and so it's yeah, everything to do with it, and just all yeah, it's more like the fandom that just grew way beyond the game itself.
Gotcha. Okay, I
Yeah.
understand. But I mean, beyond that, do you see it actually becoming a little more mainstream? I mean, no, not even talking just conventions now. We're just talking
Right.
basically fandom, stateside.
Uh, it's it's definitely picking up because there's so many character designs and there's so many characters. You know, it's definitely possible for people to definitely like specific characters based on how they look, even though they have no idea in the end, like it's actually from Toho. I mean, there's a huge chunk of people that learn that Toho is a game after they
Mm.
become fans.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because weren't they initially like the bullet hell kind of type of games where it's almost nigh impossible to beat?
It still is, but they have a collaboration for fighting games, but the primary series is still the bullet hell games that get released maybe about every 2-3 years. They're up to 13 actually so
Wow.
far.
Oh, dang.
Yeah,
I see QB and Jackson in the chat said that he's been on a Toho bender, tamed 15 albums in one day. Yeah, it's a bit of a bender there, but
yeah,
I'm sure it's well worth it though.
yeah.
While we keep on waiting, if you guys have any questions or if you want to just ask us how we're doing, what anime we're watching, whatnot,
Mhm.
send us a message either on Facebook, Twitter, and of course you also have our option on Skype, which is AniBreak, just one word. But while we're waiting for that, I want to ask you, Bryan. I know you've
Mhm.
been pretty busy with the DJ run, and of course with day-to-day life and work and whatnot.
Right.
Have you had a chance to sit down and watch any of the newer anime that's recently started?
The only one I've been keeping up with is Imoto Chama Osaka.
Can't say I'm surprised, but no, it's still good.
Yeah,
I'm
Ore no Imoto wa Osaka-chan. I think that's what it was called. Yeah.
yeah, that sounds about right.
But yeah.
Yeah,
I definitely have a lot more that I want to see, but I just need to sit down and watch them. I haven't done that yet.
okay. No,
Yeah.
I've been trying to sit down and watch a number of the series that have recently started, and I gotta
Hmm.
say, I know it's like part two of the winter season for 2012-2013.
Right.
Usually there's a good number of, I would say, 5 or 6 titles that are fantastic that I'll watch straight through, and then
Hmm.
the rest are like hit and miss.
Hmm.
There's like maybe two of this go around that I'm like
Really?
actually enjoying, and the rest are just
Because
like the hell.
a lot of them, I mean, they sound really promising.
Hmm.
What was it? Actually, hang on. Look it up because I know I wrote about it on my Facebook like a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
But it's I don't know. Some of them look promising because they had. I mean, of course, every season, they have lots of really good talent behind them.
True.
So, uh, but I guess maybe the writing must be bad or what? I don't know.
It could be that. I mean, the ones that I'm really enjoying so far, there's Bakumatsu Gijin Den Roman,
Hmm.
um, which is everybody's always saying it's Lupin the Third in the Edo period Japan. And the
Hmm.
reason they're saying this is because all the character design is by Monkey Punch, which did Lupin the Third. So,
Hmm.
just think of the main character as Lupin the Third with a beard, and that's basically what's going on with there. And it's essentially kind of the same thing in terms of stealing and thievery.
Right.
The main difference is that Roman is basically a Robin Hood, basically stealing from the rich to get back to the poor.
Right. Right.
And I was watching the first episode, and I was like, okay, cool, it's enjoyable so far. And I've said it a couple times on the show already, but in the third act of the first episode,
Hmm.
they jumped the shark so far, I literally had to pause it and then go back a little bit, thinking I missed something. And I went, wow, okay. It's still enjoyable. It's like 4 or 5 episodes in right now,
Hmm.
but it's a hell of a lot of fun. I would actually recommend that.
Okay. Okay. That my friend called that was it Sengoku Lupin. Lupin. That's what my friend called it after watching the trailer for it.
Hmm.
She's like, "Oh, that's Sengoku Lupin."
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I gotta say though that the other one that really caught my eye was Oreshura.
Yeah. Well, for me specifically because it has Yukarin in it.
Hmm. I mean, that was one thing for me, and I
Right.
started to give it a shot. I knew that it was based off of the light novels, and I was like, okay,
Hmm.
I should give it a shot before I start reading the light novel, see if I want to get into it.
Sure.
And I'm thinking, okay, halfway through the episode, okay, this seems like a typical romantic comedy, high school slice of life kind of thing, which
Hmm.
there's 1.5 billion of those.
Right. Right.
And then you get to the part where it's a slight spoiler that the most popular girl starts asking the new transfer student out on a date. Oh, I
Hmm.
confesses I love you and whatnot. And he's like,
Right.
why the hell do are you saying this? And then she actually comes out saying, it's kind of like a ruse. I won't give the full thing away. And
Okay.
they kind of partner up on this deal, which is it got me enough.
Ah.
It gets you enough to continue watching episode 2 and episode
Okay.
3 and on and so on and so forth.
I see. Let's see.
Neo Street Cat in the chat goes, Vividred's the one for me. You know, a lot of people have been saying, yeah, Vividred Operation. You should watch it. I mean, Bryan, have you heard about this series or?
No, I haven't actually.
It's essentially Strike Witches in space. It's a spiritual
Oh.
sequel to Strike Witches.
Okay.
As Sam says in the chat, lesbian magical girl fusion.
Okay. I remember. I think this was actually written by
Mm-hmm.
the Strike
Yep.
Witches author, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I remember seeing the trailer for this. The trailer didn't really catch my attention by too much, except for the fact that it looks related to, it's connected pretty close to Strike Witches just
Mm-hmm.
by the feel.
I will say this:
Hmm.
the animation, the quality of the animation, the nice blend of CG and hand-drawn animation is
Hmm.
top notch. I will give
Really?
them props on that.
I see.
But story-wise, I mean, again, if you like Strike Witches, you'll like Vivid Operation. It wasn't for me.
I see.
It is definitely fan servicey. Just the age is a
Hmm.
little younger than I like.
Let's see. Okay, I found my list that I wrote down.
Oh, okay.
The Unlimited,
Mm-hmm.
the Zettai Karan Children prequel.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm interested in that one just because I watched all of Zettai Karan Children.
I watched the first episode,
Uh-huh.
and animations. Oh, it's okay. It's what you expect. It's about the same level as Zettai Karen Children.
Right.
Um, the whole aspect of the superhero espers in a jail that blocks their powers and somehow they can break free of that. It was like
Right.
you're kind of jumping the shark a little bit, but I'll keep on watching a little bit.
I see. Interesting. Minami K is definitely on my must-watch list.
Okay, okay.
And then the last one, let's see. Oh, two that we haven't talked about yet. Maoyu,
Which one is that one?
the one where they have the Spice and Wolf pair, yet it's not Spice and Wolf.
I have not heard of this one.
What?
Please,
Okay, I'm
please
gonna.
elaborate, because I'm
So
a big Spice and Wolf fan. So
yeah. Was it Jun Fukuyama and what's her name? Why am I blanking on her name? Uh, oh, here we go. Uh, Ami Koshimizu.
okay.
So basically, they pair up in this new anime that it's funny because Ami Koshimizu has the same talks in the same manner of speaking that Horo does. And the main guy is voiced by Jun Fukuyama, and it takes place in like the past. So it's like Spice and Wolf, yet not Spice and Wolf.
Oh, okay. I have to check
Um,
this out then.
Here we go. Yeah, I found the link on the Wikipedia page, so I
Sweet.
just dropped it in chat.
I see it.
Let's see. What else was there? Oh, Encouragement of Climb, another one of the online shorts.
Mm-hmm.
I only watched the first episode of it, but the funny thing is both Osaka-chan and Encouragement of Climb have the Nyaruko voice actress in it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so the Osaka girl in that, and then the friend that tries to drag the main character back into mountain climbing,
Mm-hmm.
those are both voiced by Nyaruko, the
Really?
Nyaruko voice actress. Yeah, so that caught my interest, and yeah, and then actually somebody in the chat mentioned, what was it, Pet Girl or
Head Go to
Sakura Soul?
Sakura So. I love that series.
Somebody else also recommended that to me, so I'm definitely putting that on my to watch list.
There was actually one that the animation's all right. It's a bit heavy on the fan service, which is fine for a type of series like this.
Hmm.
I can't even think of trying to say the actual Japanese title, but the translated title is "Problem Children Are Coming from Another World, Aren't They?" The
Wow.
idea is you have three kids, kind of delinquents and whatnot, get transported to this other world and find out they have powers. They're
Hmm.
greeted by this magical pink-haired bunny girl, and they go off and do quests. And it's just
Oh,
random.
I remember seeing the trailer for that, and I was like, yeah, I was confused by the trailer already. What was the title of that? Because I remember distinctly remember watching the trailer for that.
Like I said, the translated title is
Oh,
"Problem Children Are Coming from Another World,"
okay.
so it's it's a interesting one.
Okay, I found the entry. All right. Wow. So that's the English title, huh?
Hmm.
Is it already licensed?
Yeah, I think it's licensed by Sentai Filmworks and it's being currently streamed on
Oh,
Crunchyroll.
Crunchyroll. Okay, so they had to tack a um, English name onto it.
Exactly.
Okay, yeah, I saw
I've
that.
actually been trying to catch up on a lot of the streaming networks,
Hmm.
just because they're starting to get better. They actually are.
I see. Cool.
Crunchyroll, I mean, it had very shady beginnings, and some people say that on some titles that they're simulcasting, they kind of go back to those shady beginnings in terms of
Mm.
just the quality. Um,
Oh, I see what you mean.
but for the most part, it's actually still, pretty legit. It's, a wide selection, and a lot of companies are starting to, make these deals with Crunchyroll. So they're starting to get a number of uh,
Bigger
the bigger
titles.
titles.
Yeah,
Funimation, I haven't heard too much from them other than their
right.
main website. They're showing a bunch of stuff on their own website. They're actually releasing a crap load of stuff on YouTube, of all things.
Oh yeah,
Um,
that's right. They're posting the episodes
yeah,
on YouTube.
subbed and dubbed, which is a nice.
Yes, because I remember watching a handful of episodes of Fairy Tale
hmm
that way. I need to finish that too.
Before then, they had some that they were streaming on their own website, but it was only like 360p, if that.
Right,
Um, and then of course a lot of the stuff was also on Hulu. I think a good deal of it's still on Hulu, but more of it's starting to come back just on their regular site.
I see.
And ever since they made the announcement of their deal with Nico Nico to start streaming anime on there, I haven't heard squat from that.
You actually, I'm kind of surprised considering a lot of this stuff simulcasts on Nico Nico already on the Japanese
Well, I know
side.
on the Japanese side, I was talking about on the English side.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean. It's like I'm surprised that they haven't been like going full steam since it's practically already established.
hmm
Yeah.
And I mean, yes, I'm not doubting that they're still doing stuff on Nico Nico.
Mm,
It's um, I think it's just the more along the lines that when you hear an ad for Funimation and whatnot, and you want to go stream it, it's
right.
always to their website, and it's always a link to the stream on their websites, never to Nico Nico.
Right.
QBan Jackson in the chat asks, didn't NicoNico.com get shut down? What happened with that was there was the English version, which is .com,
Right.
and then you had the Japanese one. What was that
Right.
Nico Nico Doga?
No,
Nico
NicoVideo.jp.
Video. Thank you.
Yeah. No problem.
And what happened was they decided to merge the two, so that people who actually had an account on the English one that got ported over to the Japanese one, and now the
Mm.
Japanese site streams both English and Japanese for some things.
Yeah.
Not for
Actually,
everything, but
the databases, the user databases were actually linked from the beginning. I
oh, were
found
they?
out.
Okay,
Yeah, because
I was hearing against that.
yeah, because yeah, they were against it, but I remember when I asked the NicoNico.com representatives a while back,
hmm
I already have a JP account, and he's like, "Oh, you just use that to log into the .com
Oh,
site." I'm like,
okay.
"Oh, yeah, that's
And
convenient."
I will say that I do use my my Nico Nico account
Hmm.
for a couple things here and there. Recently, it's been to watch the streams from their club over in Japan.
Oh, right, right.
Nicofar.
Hmm.
Yeah, that club is amazing.
Yeah, seriously. Actually, let's see. Oh, well, first thing I would say about using the NicoVideo.jp site,
Mm-hmm.
you actually want to set the language to Japanese because there's a lot more that you can access on the Japanese side of it.
I kind of figured as much. Yes.
The region you can leave in American, but you want if you want to see a lot more videos,
Mm-hmm.
you want to actually set the language to Japanese because the
Okay.
interface is actually pretty different between the two on top of that.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I understand that now.
Because yeah, the JP side keeps the old interface,
Okay.
while the English side has the new site that they I guess kind of pulled from the .com site back
Okay. So
then.
basically, if people who are signing up, which they still can, basically just hit up Nico Nico, just sign in. I believe there's an English way to, or English page to sign up,
Hmm.
and then actually change the language to Japanese, and then go from there.
Yeah, once
Now,
you log in and you scroll at the bottom, there's a language option.
okay. Now, granted, for the most part, you would have to learn Japanese, which I'm
Yeah.
trying to do with all my
Yeah.
flashcards.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
because I'm going to try to take the JLPT, which is the Japanese language proficiency test. Either the N5, which is the beginning, or the N4, just the one above that, sometime this year. So
Yep. For sure, dude.
that just takes
That's
forever and a day, though, to do.
it's not easy. Language is not easy, but even just completing enough to get yourself to level 4 is really good.
Level
So
4 is enough to have very basic, somewhat slow conversational Japanese.
yeah, yeah,
N5 is you can understand phrases and whatnot.
yeah.
And
And 5 is you can survive in Japan.
exactly. And what was funny is that these tests are only given twice a year, like once in July, once in December,
Right,
only at
right.
certain places. And a good friend of mine, her name's Alice. She lives with another friend, Sean, and they live in Japan. And she's a teacher there. She's part of the JET program.
Right.
She's been living there teaching for, I would say, 2 or 3 years, or more than that. Actually, more than that, because she's on her second time around with JET.
Right.
And she just took the JLPT, and she just passed N4. And I thought she just passed N2, which
N2 actually, the funny thing is, N2 actually puts you above the average Japanese adult.
are you serious?
Yeah, because you start breaking into N2 and N1 is actually starts getting into business level, like corporate use, like corporate level
Yes.
Japanese. So basically by passing N2, you already know more than the average salaryman.
That's funny as hell. I didn't even know
Yeah,
that.
so that's why if you can, I mean, it's a lot. If you look up the kanji list for it, it's huge.
Oh, it is absolutely huge.
But-
It's in the thousands if you combine the kanji and the vocab.
Yeah, but from what I understand, if you can pass level 2, you'll get hired by Japanese companies like pretty much immediately.
That could work. I mean,
That's
that's
a thought,
also a
right?
few years off, though. Because I think it's just level 5, the N5. It's, I want to say, 200 to 300 kanji and about 800 vocab.
Right.
So, but you know what? It's doable. I'm hoping to find a place that'll actually offer the N5 test in July, because I found out that the Little Tokyo branch of the embassy that gives out the test
Right.
announced last year that they're only going to give the test in December. They're not going to do the July test anymore. And I went, well, so I might have to drive to San Francisco to the consulate up there to try to take the test in July.
I see.
But,
Well, hopefully you'll be ready by then.
I hope so. I'm going to keep on studying on it, and, we'll see what happens. I got to keep myself busy somehow.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure.
But let's move on to just talking a little bit about some of the guest announcements at several cons throughout the country that we were discussing earlier.
Right.
Let's start with SakuraCon, I guess. SakuraCon just announced a couple people. Recently, they announced through Aniplex of America, it was the author of the light novels for Sword Art Online and Excel World.
Right.
I think it's Reiki Kawahara. And I think that's freaking amazing. That's, I give massive props to that. That's a nice announcement from SakuraCon. They always put out some great stuff up there.
Right.
They also announced, who is this? Okay.
Eiru. The pronunciation is really weird. I just checked it. It's written in katakana.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when you look at it in English, it's just Aoi, AOI.
Yeah. Aoi, but then the Eiru, EIR. Yeah, it's
Eiru,
read
Aoi,
Eiru.
yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
Eiru,
still not
Aoi.
good with the Japanese yet. I apologize.
No problem.
But she actually performed the second theme song ending for Sword Art Online. So you're starting to see like a Sword Art Online mega pack forming over at SakuraCon.
Yeah.
I give them props. It's a fun con. I remember when we had the chance, you and I,
Yeah.
wandered around a bit. If anything, I mean, just going up to Seattle's so nice.
Yeah. And you know what? I still go. I went last year and I plan to go this year.
I would love to go this year if I can, get the funds for it. It's going to be March 29th through the 31st, so you have a
Right.
few more months left.
Yeah.
Although I'm sure most of the hotels in the area are booked.
Yeah.
So if
sure.
you're gonna be like me and like trying to book last minute, you're probably gonna be taking a long hike or a bus. to get to the
Actually,
location.
I have a tip regarding hotels for anime conventions that I'll tell you after in the post.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't want to share that secret with anybody else.
Still public
Ah,
in
yeah.
the
Okay.
end, right?
Yeah. Gotcha.
But no, it's pretty interesting fact. But yeah.
Okay.
Anyways, yeah.
The other one that was just recently announced, I think, I want to say 4 or 5 hours ago, was from the other side of the country at Otakon.
Right.
They announced they're bringing back TM Revolution.
Mm-hmm.
That's a name I haven't heard in several years.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, he was huge in the 90s. He did a ton of stuff. And apparently he's still doing more stuff nowadays. I haven't heard much of it myself. I mean, have you? Or...
No, I haven't actually.
But, I mean, he's still extremely popular. He came over stateside at Otakon in 2003 to had a concert that had, what, 10,000 people or something like that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, he just packed that. I remember when he performed, or at least appeared, at PMX a few years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And that was kind of surprising, some of, that level to show up at a sub 3,000 attendee con.
Right.
And that was kind of almost like under the radar, too.
Yeah. Agreed.
So I still think it's massive props that he's coming back. It's going to be an amazing thing for people on the East Coast. And I'm still waiting to hear from the new con. I'm waiting to hear who they have coming for the first con, Japan Expo USA.
Right.
Because they made the announcement, hey, we're expecting stuff, we'll make an announcement sometime late January, and here we are like the second to last day in January, and still nothing yet.
Yeah, pretty much.
But I'm sure they have something epic planned. I cannot wait to hear from it. That's one I'm definitely going to be going to.
Yeah, you can't really doubt that they'll ultimately come out with something pretty good.
But we have all these other cons making big announcements already.
Right.
Some even, way the hell out. I mean, Otakon is like a month and a half after AX, which seems to be like the center point of all the anime cons.
Right.
Not surprising because they, right now, technically are the largest anime convention in the country.
Right.
And I gotta say, some might look at this. I'm gonna bash them, and I guess kind of so. But you have one con announcing TM Revolution, another con announcing the author of the extremely popular Sword Art Online and Excel World light novels. And then you have AX. And who have they announced? Johnny Young Bosch. Okay. I mean, Johnny's, good and all, and he has, of course, his band iShine, which goes everywhere with him. But he was announced. They announced Chris Sabat. Everybody knows him as Vegeta and Piccolo from Dragon Ball Z.
Yep.
Kale Bear, who's done everything on the planet. Awesome guy. And Eric Vale, which is, another English voice actor. I've seen a lot of, like, stateside stuff. I'm really surprised they haven't announced anybody yet. And I can favor a guess as to who they have planned and why they haven't announced anything yet, but I can't say that publicly, so. I don't know. We'll have to see what happens with AX. I mean, Bryan, are you going to be going, or are you going to be spinning this year there, or?
I think the plan is for me to go. Yeah.
Okay.
I believe so. So yeah.
Okay. Well, I hope to go as well. I mean, I have to pay own way and whatnot, but you know what? So be it. I still have a lot of friends who work there, and got to meet a lot of people last year. So
yeah, doesn't mean you can't have a good time.
Exactly. I gotta say, going to a convention and I'm not working and just walking around is the oddest thing ever for me.
Yeah, I hear you.
After doing it for years.
Yep.
And then walking around, it's a very unique experience.
Agreed.
So, but those are just a couple of the cons that have made announcements lately. I'm sure as we get closer to those dates, we'll start getting more announcements. Like I know the other SPGA con, it's down in San Diego. I forget what they call it.
Kanji.
Yeah, Anime Kanji. I don't think they've announced anybody yet, and that's in March.
Yep.
So
yep.
yeah, we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah.
Well, since we're on the con circuit and whatnot, I mean, how was some of the experiences you've been, as a DJ on all these different conventions? 'Cause I know you get flown out to different places now.
Yeah,
Mr.
yeah,
Big Shot.
It's not that big of a deal. I mean, it's just a plane ticket and like, standard convention hotel room. At least I don't think it's that too crazy. It's not like they actually like, treat me out to
Roll
like
out the red carpet and everything.
yeah, roll out the red carpet, steak dinners every night. But it's definitely a lot of fun. It's good to kind of see new locales, especially I never really traveled to the Midwest like in general, and I went to 4 conventions in the Midwest last year.
Which ones did you hit up?
I started at ASEN, and then QC Animazing, which is in
Okay.
Kansas, and then Motaku, which is Missouri,
Mm-hmm.
and then last up was NebraskaCon in Nebraska. But yeah, so I mean that's 4 different states in like span of 6 months, and it's definitely really cool to see meet new people, be able to spin for people who probably haven't heard most of this stuff before.
I was gonna
either.
say, like, what were they expecting for you to play? Because I know you have a wealth of not only your own mixes, but then also the Toho
Yeah.
music and a bunch of anime remixes out there as well.
Exactly.
What were they expecting?
I mean, I think for them, they usually expect something like an average dance, that's not anime focused.
Okay.
Because I think a lot of people kind of expect something along the lines of like a high school dance where it's just top 40s and that's about it, right?
Okay, so you're not walking to these places expecting to play like hip hop or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Although some people do kind of want that kind of music, but I think it's pretty much just kind of back and forth between stuff people know and then stuff people don't know. That's the trick.
Gotcha. Okay, I understand that. Now, what are these images that I'm seeing online on Facebook of like DJ battles of DJs in Toho outfits? I know you're in there.
What? Oh yeah.
What are these about? I'm gonna bring one up while you talk about it.
Yeah, a friend of mine just made these videos. He likes making. He actually has a YouTube channel that he does game reviews and stuff on, and he lives. He's a friend of mine. I actually go to SakuraCon, Fanmade. Like we pretty much see each other at a lot of the major West Coast cons, and one of the things he likes to do is put together some really interesting Photoshop pictures. And
I gotta say, because I'm looking at this one, and I'll get the shot a little better for you. But
yeah,
I'm looking at this going.
Well, you know who the guy on the right is, right? You've seen him online before, right?
I can't play. I've seen the.
He's like the hero of /A.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. He goes by Anime Weeb Lord 420. If you search that on YouTube, you can see because he trolls hardcore. He trolls the Nico Nico stream. Like every time, every convention he's at, he trolls the Nico Nico stream so hard because the thing is, the announcers, they have to keep a straight face, right?
Oh, that's gotta be painful to do.
He gives the worst, like, most confusing answers, and you can see them struggling not to like completely lose it.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
That's funny as hell.
Yeah,
I don't think it was ever expected to see, a Toho character throwing up the sign.
Oh, East Side, man. Because that's what Toho means. So.
Oh, that is funny as hell.
Now,
what do you have coming up pretty soon? Do you have any other cons lined up, or?
I'm talking with Kanji. Nothing settled at all yet. Fanime is pretty sure shot. AX is pretty sure shot. I'm begging my friend who helps organize the one of the nights at ASEN to let me open.
Ooh, nice.
But we'll see. I mean, it's kind of half serious because I mean, it would be opening for like J-Core DJs.
Okay, gotcha.
So it's like, I'm pretty sure they would rather opening to another DJ that has like more like rep in that scene than I do. I would presume. But I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I'm good. I am good friends with him. He knows I do, good stuff. So
Nice. You know,
we'll
I
see how.
haven't been to Fanime yet. I've always wanted to. I mean, what is one to expect at Fanime?
Fanime is probably alongside Sakura Con as basically my favorite hangout cons.
Okay.
Because especially because of the fact that Fanime, the two main hotels are physically linked.
Oh, I
Uh,
love that when it comes
if
like that.
if you remember like Long Beach,
Mm-hmm.
how like literally you just walk through a door and you're
Yeah.
there, right? The two main hotels at Fanime are attached,
That's
which
great.
incidentally sold out within an hour.
Not surprising considering how way you're, describing it. It's not surprising that a lot of people want to go to that. So.
Yeah, I mean, and then the scenery is pretty good. There's good amount of food within walking distance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, pretty much everything you need. Like you don't have to wander very far off site.
That's a
what's
nice
about
plus.
it. Yeah.
I mean,
So.
granted, most cons they have to have either at a local county convention center, which may
Right.
or may not have a hotel attached to it.
Exactly.
There are other cons that have no hotels attached to them. You have to take a bus down the street to go get to them,
Hmm.
and those are always a pain. It kind of gets you, it pulls you out of the experience a bit, I would say.
Right.
But yeah, the smaller cons. I mean, I can't even really call PMX a hangout con anymore. I think that phrase goes more to Anime LA.
Yeah. No,
Which,
Anime LA definitely kind of nailed that down on their end.
I've been there a couple times. It's a hell of a lot of fun.
Right.
It's definitely a nice hangout con. You get to meet some very cool people there. I'm
Mhm.
just sad that I got sick this year because I was going to host a panel, like a late night panel.
I saw your post about that.
I was like,
That-
damn it.
That sucks. Yeah. That's
Oh well. I already talked to them. They said let us know about 2014. So I'm like, okay, cool. So,
mhm.
but I will try to get a panel at Fanime if I can, because I know most of the hotels are already sold out.
Right.
I'm so pissed about that. Oh well.
Yeah. But I mean, there's the neighbor. Actually, no. Wow. That's right. Pretty much all their hotel blocks got locked out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's basically like driving away and paying extra for parking and whatnot. But you know what?
Actually,
Go ahead.
yeah. Oh no. Well, the parking I think was it 17 a day? I don't remember. Yeah, it's not too bad.
Okay, but it sounds like it definitely a hell of a lot of fun, and hopefully I'll have time and money and whatnot to go up there and check it out.
Hmm.
Sega fan says, "Remember, Jason, get your flu shot before the con." I really should get my flu shot.
It's kind of getting kind of late for that now.
It is getting kind of late for that. I know. I've been bugged
Yeah.
about it for a long time.
Better late than never, though.
This is true.
Yeah.
I mean, there's the flu, and then there's con plague, which you can never freaking avoid unless you're a rarity. I think out of all the years I was working a convention, just going to conventions in general,
Right.
that must have been a total of maybe, I want to say 10 years, if more.
Hmm.
And out of all of those years, I think I have not gotten the con plague like once.
Nice.
So
Yeah. I don't know. I've gotten pretty lucky about keeping healthy, but we'll see how my luck holds out.
yeah, let's hope.
You know, actually, the funny thing is, I get crazy sick before Fanime. I remember
That's
the first
weird.
time, first time I went up there was like Fanime '08. I literally had a fever of 104 the night before I went up to Fanime. And I drove up with the fever, by the way.
You
But
are crazy.
I mostly recovered by the end of con. I managed to lose. I actually completely lost my voice in the process.
You are absolutely
And-
crazy.
And the funny thing is, I think I was responsible for that year's con plague. because I know everybody that I was hanging out with got really sick.
Oh, you were the
after.
carrier. Oh,
Yeah.
you're that bastard. Oh, okay.
Yeah, but then and then this last year, the night before, I was supposed to finish up my cosplay before I left in the morning. I got food poisoning, like acute food poisoning. So I was over the toilet for like 2-3 hours
Oh,
that night,
jeez.
and then I was just completely spent. So then I couldn't even do anything with my cosplay. And then I guess again I drove up the next day.
Oh, you are crazy, my friend.
Yeah,
That is funny as hell, though. So you got a story out of it. That's all that counts.
yeah, totally.
All right. Well, it's almost time to wrap up this episode. It didn't turn to be more of a call-in show, but you know what? I was able to hang out with you and talk to you and catch up with you on air, and that's, you know what? I'm cool with that. I'm very happy with that.
Definitely.
And, you know, you're always welcome to jump on the show at any time.
All right.
So, but before we wrap this up, do you have anything you want to plug right now, or?
I guess just hit up my Facebook page, facebook.com/DJPrayX. Anything I do, I usually talk about on there. It's been pretty quiet because I've been kind of busy with real life, but
I hear you on that.
but yeah, if there's any updates, you'll probably find them over there. So
Sweet.
yeah, and that's about all I got going right now.
It's all good. As for me, you can always follow me either on Facebook or Twitter. It's OtakuLife Jason. Same thing, all one word. And, you know, I'm glad for the people in the chat. They apparently enjoyed it, seeing you back here, whatnot, just like old times. And you're, like I said, you're always welcome to come on the show at any time.
Definitely.
So.
We'll definitely come back.
Sweet. All right, everybody. Well, thank you for joining us. Stay tuned for a short post show. And on behalf of Bryan, I'm Jason. And thank you guys so much for showing up for this episode of AniBreak. We will see you guys next time. Take it easy.